Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Jill with At Home with Jill, and in this video I am decluttering my son's room. He is just so ready for it to be simplified and easy for him to keep clean because let's face it, what kid would be able to clean a room with this much overwhelm in here, right? Like, it is such a mess. There's so much stuff everywhere. It's just too much for a kid. And so that's where I come in and I help. He told me that I could declutter his room as long as he could go through all of the stuff that I took out. So that he could have the final say so, like if there is something special that I got rid of or whatever, that he could get that back. And so I agreed to that. So he was busy and distracted while I was doing this. So he was not a part of this process at all. Well, in the beginning, eventually I did let him be a part of it. So like once I did the initial taking everything out and rearranging and putting it back together, then what he is a part of is going through the stuff, but then also he's going to help me decluttering his clothes. So we haven't done that part yet. But so first, what I'm doing first is I am getting all of the clutter and obvious trash, like anything that is very obviously trash or something that is like, I know for a fact he does not care about this, he does not need this, it's just sitting here because he doesn't notice it. All of that is going. That's what I did first. So I just went around the room with a trash bag, touched every area and got rid of the dust stuff. And then it got harder after that, obviously, because that's the easy part, right? Like getting rid of trash and obvious things, that's the easy part. But when you have a child too who tends to want to keep everything, it makes it really hard to know if you're going too far with what you're getting rid of and everything like that. So I have to be very sensitive to him and how he is. But yeah, so as far as the plants, this big tree here, and he has another plant in another corner. So I would say about 6 months ago or so, I'm not quite sure, maybe even a year ago, our church that we go to was changing buildings, and so they were just getting rid of a bunch of stuff. And my husband, he now admits that this was partly his fault, but he let Cade take a bunch of stuff that the church was getting rid of. He let him just take a bunch of it for his room, and I knew it was a bad idea. I'm he has tendencies to want to hoard stuff, and his room is always a mess as it is. He has trouble keeping it clean, and so to add junk into his room that he does not need is just gonna make it worse and make it harder for him. So anyway, my husband admits now that part of this is his problem. He should not have let Cade take all this stuff home from the church. Cade took baskets and plants and a big box of yarn, just so much stuff, a big canvas type picture for his wall, so much stuff that he did not need. It's if we would not go buy this at the store right now, why are we taking it home? It just didn't make sense to me. But it's fine. You know, my husband, he has hoarding tendencies too. So it kind of makes sense why he was like, yeah, go ahead, kids, pick whatever you want from here and take it home for your room. Like, it makes sense. And then me, like, my personality, I'm just like, nope, they don't need any of that. Like, what are you doing? But it is what it is, okay? So, anyway, so I am just pretty much getting rid of all the obvious stuff, all of the big stuff that's just taking up space, because every inch of this room is just covered in stuff. Like, all the walls are taken up. Like, it's just too much. He also like had a ton of books in his room, and we have places in our house for books. And so I was telling him, like, you don't need to keep the books in your room. Like, you can keep these books with all the other books in the house, and then just like have whatever book you're reading at the time in here, you know? But even with that conversation, he did ultimately decide that he still wants to keep books in his room, but he did go through the books and he did declutter some of his books. So actually what's not going to be in this video today is him going through all of the stuff that I took out. That's going to be in another video, because this video was getting too long and I just decided to make it like a to be continued, and then the rest of it will go up next week, probably Monday, because like I'm still not completely done, and so I figured I could take part of this video and then add it into a video with the stuff that I'm still going to do this weekend. So anyway, there's going to be more. There's going to be a part 2 to this, and he did a really good job. I was actually so proud of him. So proud of him. Like, when I saw him going through all the stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to want to keep all of it. Like, it's because, you know, that's how it's gone in the past. Like, in the past, I've decluttered his room. He loved the empty space and how clean it was and everything. But then when he saw things I was getting rid of, like, he had such an attachment, like, to things that you wouldn't normally be attached to. He, like, had to keep it all. But, like, he's getting older, he's maturing, he sees that, like, empty space is good, and, you know, anyway, he's just getting older, and he's realizing, like, all of this stuff in here, all it's doing is keeping him from actually being, like, creative. Like, he's super creative. He loves to, like, invent things and build Legos, and he hasn't been doing that lately because his room is just so overwhelming. Like, when he's in there, he's kind of stressed out, and so he can't just, like, sit there and design something, you know what I mean? Like, so he's realizing that, like, it's so much better for his, like, brain and the way his brain works to not have his room in utter chaos. So right here, what I'm doing is I am just putting all of the loose Legos in the closet. Actually, I actually forgot about this until right here as I'm editing. This is also why this video is to be continued, because I totally forgot. I never went back to all of the Legos in the closet. So yeah, I'm just putting all the loose Legos in the closet for now, because I needed it out of my way so that I could rearrange the room and everything and do what I needed to do. And I never went back to that. So fun fact there, all those Legos are still hiding behind the curtain of the closet. Also, I would love to take the curtains down and put up, like, closet doors eventually, but right now that's just not a possibility, because, like, we're about to be remodeling our kitchen and we just can't spend money on things that are not necessary. But I will tell you, whenever I declutter a room and rearrange it and focus on a room, it is so hard for me to not like order all the things that I want to do to that room. Like there's a shelving unit that I want to go above Kate's bed, and like the closet doors, I want to repaint his room. I want to put baseboards back in. There's so much I want to do in his room, but I can't. Like I just need to like not even think about that, because the kitchen has to be our priority. And once the kitchen is done too, we're going to be doing one whole flooring for the whole house. So like from the kitchen to the living room, through the hallway, like to the bedrooms, all one flooring. And so once the bedrooms have flooring, then it makes sense to do baseboards. And so if we did baseboards right now in here, it wouldn't make sense because the floor is not done. Right now, what's on the flooring in his room is something, I saw a YouTube video of it, and it's paper bag flooring. You can look it up if you want. Basically, it was like you glue down chunks of craft paper, and then you like do a top coat on top of it. And it's supposed to just be an alternative flooring option. And the bedrooms in this house had like disgusting old carpet that was like holding smells, and like it was gross. And so we ripped up the carpet in the bedrooms, and I just did like flooring that was very cheap. Also, right here in this part, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to wait till my husband gets home to get the top bunk off. Okay, so the bunk beds were feeling super wobbly, like they were gonna fall apart and break at any moment. And so I decided like no more being in the bunk bed position, so we separated the beds because it's safer. Eventually we might get another bunk bed, like a new one that's not gonna fall apart. But for now we're just separating them. Also, the gun that you saw on the floor under the bed, it is not a real gun. It's an airsoft gun. It's my stepson's. He got it for Christmas, and it just stays under his bed when he's not here. So he lives in a different state, and he's only here for like Christmas and spring break and summer and Thanksgiving and stuff. And so his stuff I just keep under his bed when he's not here. And yeah, it's definitely an airsoft gun, so please don't freak out thinking that there are like actual weapons in my son's room. I promise it's not. It's all good. But anyway, so I got to this point and I was like so bummed that I was gonna have to wait till my husband got home to help me get the top bunk off. But literally right in that moment, my mom walked in because she had mail for me, and I was like, oh, you got here just in time. So she was able to help me take the top bunk off, and so anyway, that worked out great. So yeah. Oh my gosh, I also just remembered something really funny. The dresser. I was trying to get the dresser into the little nook area over there, and oh my gosh, this was the hardest thing ever. I am still sore. Here's me doing my measuring with my arms. No, but seriously, like, oh, and there's my mama. Isn't she so cute? Anyway, so she helped me do that. That was wonderful. And then I was like, okay, you can go. You're excused. No. I should have had her help me more, but I didn't want her to feel obligated. But, okay, so getting the dresser into this little nook in the room. Oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. First of all, I almost, like, smashed. Like I almost like, I feel like I almost like broke my fingers off of my hand. Like, I'm not even kidding. My fingers definitely got pinched in between the dresser and the wall, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to get them back out. This dresser is so incredibly heavy, and I was feeling too lazy to take the drawers out. I was just determined to do it without doing that. And I was tempted to leave it in like a normal speed with the sound on, just so you could see how much I was struggling. Actually, I think I'm going to.
Oh, I know this too, Kate. Where is it? Hoarder, can you squish me? Where is it? How do you open it? Did you mind to open it? Me? No. Where do you open it then? Here. You mind to get here? No. It just opened. No, actually, that's a hole. It's not actually. Can you go in now? No. Okay. Hey, twin. Hey, twin. Hey, Dad. Cobra, get out. No, look. You get smashed in survival. Twinny, twin. I don't even know where would I be like. Same food. Hey, look, let's go help that villager cross the river. Whoa! Don't be such a fool. Villager.
Okay, that was enough of that. I literally could not watch that in normal speed for much longer. Oh man. You guys, I'm telling you, this went on for over 10 minutes. Like, I think this took me like 15 minutes. I'm not even joking. It was so hard and heavy and such a struggle. Oh my gosh, I was sweating to death when I was done with this too. Alright, and then as if moving one ridiculously heavy piece of furniture wasn't enough for this day, I also, once I was moving the beds around and figuring out like where could they go, what would look good, what could be different than what we've done in the past, I decided that I needed to move the piano a little bit. The piano was just a smidgen over to the left, too much for what I wanted to do with the bed. So that was, again, extremely difficult. Oh my gosh. And at first, when I went to push the piano, I braced myself like by pushing against the bookshelf behind, and I heard it like start breaking. Like I heard the shelf like crack. I was like, oh, oops. So then I was like, okay, well, I can't push myself against the bookshelf, so I have to do it without doing that. Oh my gosh, it was so hard. It looked easy just then, but I promise you, it was not easy at all. But the bed fit just perfectly like a glove, and so yay, that made me happy because I was like, did I just like move that for no reason and the bed's not going to fit because it looked like it wasn't going to, but it did. So okay, so the bookshelf here, it's so ugly to me. It's so old, ugly, and outdated and just doesn't match at all. And so there is a shelf that I want to get. It's like a wall mount shelf. It mounts like from the ceiling and the wall, and it comes down and it's kind of like industrial looking. So I really want to get that and replace it. So the bed would go all the way up against the wall, and then the shelves would like be above the wall. But for now, I decided to leave the bookshelf because he does have like his Lego creations on there, and then he's also going to kind of use it as like a nightstand. So like he's gonna put like his book on there, and he likes to use like a fake candle when he reads at night, and so he'll keep that on there. So it'll be like a nightstand for him. And then I put his brother's bed over here, which I don't know, it's kind of weird, but it's fine. It's fine. Like, this is not my favorite layout, but it's gonna do for now. But anyway, like I said, this video is gonna be to be continued, so please stay tuned because there is a lot more decluttering. Oh, there you go. There's some to be continued for you. There is a lot more decluttering motivation to be had in part 2, so please come back for that and check it out. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment down below, and I would love to hear from you guys. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And I'll see you all in the next video. All right, thanks. Have a good day. Bye.